Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. 8:58 p.m., November 17th, Monday, 2025. Welcome to the program. Let's get right. I hope you had a great weekend. What's playing right now is from The Onion. So the study finds that most Americans, let me see what the title was again, can't find where they are being deported on the map. It's kind of just a spoof video, but I figured just to have it playing right off the bat because if you don't know, I do live in North Carolina, not too far from Charlotte, actually. I don't live in Mecklenburg County. Thanks be to God. I refuse to live in Mecklenburg County. And there's, I live just west of it in Gaston County, to be specific. And well, it's the Gestapo is in Charlotte right now. Is I've had friends been texting me, calling me since Saturday when this all started. So I'll get right to it. Stop the Onion one. You can check it out. Everything's in the show notes, including the Onion. Just below, click the link. Bada boom. Here we go. Next couple of links are from Charlotte. ICE officials confirms they're now going after employees who hire illegal aliens, criminal record or not. Employees must be held accountable. Which I asked Gunther, does that include Trump? Trump employees illegals. You're not going to hear that from the cheerleading clan. It's okay when the king does it, and when he does it, it's no problem. When someone else does it, yeah, it's a problem. Not say, hey, illegal is illegal. I get it. It's actually how, again, as we said many times, it's how they're going about all this. Reason why I got some of that's coming up here that you probably haven't seen outside of local news here. Here's a Carlos somewhere in Charlotte today. Today? Yeah, today. Illegals in Charlotte are now afraid to go outside since ICE and border agents have surged into the city. I would change that text or that comment to anybody that looks Hispanic is afraid to go outside. I know there's a friend of mine. He's Hispanic, and he's told me that he knows people that are. We got a friend of ours that's an immigration lawyer. He's already sending friends of his to him. He's a trad Catholic to another trad Catholic who does immigration lawyer deals. And by the way, he's my immigration lawyer. He's a pro-secessionist, a fellow pro-secession guy, great guy. And anyways, yeah, there's more than just illegals worrying about it because they have done this to citizens. No matter who they are, they're really what's really going on here is racial profiling has hit an all-time level. Sure. Have they got some guys? Yes. Have they got guys that have criminal record? Yes. Totally fine. Go ahead and round them up, put them paddy wagon, send them to Honduras, wherever they're from. Get it. It's the citizens that's been they actually pulled up to a guy who was selling roses on the side of the road. Here going into if we were driving to St. Anne's from here, one of the roads is Billy Graham. And Billy Graham turns into, I can't remember what Billy Graham turns into. Triumph? Is it Triumph? No, yeah. And anyways, when you cross over 77 between there and Park Avenue where St. Anne's is on, there's at least 2, 3, 4 pop-ups where people are selling flowers. Nobody, he looks suspicious. In the summertime, I used to joke back in the day that because I tan would easily, and I'm born in Florida, that I was I would say anyways that when I come up here, people call me a Yankee up here, and I would go up north, they call me a redneck, and so I just tell them I'm Cuban, and that way no one likes me. And yeah, I was actually born in Stewart. But anyways, I tanned well if I'm at the beach, and when I was in Charleston, I was at the beach, and this was back in the early double lots every day. I could have passed. Let's say that. Here we are. They go outside. They're having their kids who are citizens go get their food and clothes. There's a restaurant. There's Mexican grocery stores here that are giving free shipping to anybody. Anybody that wants to use it. I told my wife, how do they know? Do they just ask? I mean, they got to profile you to ask about that. I mean, can I just call up? Hey, can I get free shipping? This was this morning from Joe Bruno. WCOS is a local WSOC is a local news channel here. 4 construction workers were arrested by CBP, this Border Patrol, this morning in South Charlotte. They were building an upscale home in the Green Tree neighborhood off Providence Road. I know exactly where that is. Witnesses say they attempted to run, but quickly realized that was futile. Anytime they see the cars, they're running. Now, I asked a couple guys, what are you doing about the human trafficking thing? I get it. You're going after some baddies. They say, look at their sales pitch is the worst of the worst. I don't know if the guy selling the roses is the worst of the worst. The guy you'll see in a little bit when they body slammed him, who got arrested twice, and is a U.S. citizen, which he told him multiple times, and then got arrested again. I don't think the guys at Home Depot are the worst of the worst. Prove me wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe. I don't know. We go into Home Depot. It's like Men in Black. So why did little Susie have to die? He goes, well, that guy was crying. He looked like he was on the treadmill, was exercising, he was sweating. And little Susie's out there at 2 a.m. with quantum physics books. And she had, she's the one that didn't look right. Remember that from Men in Black, the first one. What was I going with it? In Belmont, there's a YMCA near the river. And I've heard many people bring up stories about kids being disappeared, Hispanic kids disappearing because there's a child trafficking ring in that area, and they had to be on the lookout pretty much. I hope CBP and all these ICE and all those guys, hey, go there. There's a gigantic human trafficking ring here because the interstate goes right through. It was also in Gaston County, where I'm at, was a big thing with the drug deals 10, 15, 20 years ago, maybe longer, because I-85 goes right through, and it's right. The city's right on the interstate, so it's easy on, easy off, gone. And there's still drug bust that goes on to this day. I remember seeing that a couple months ago. I played it on either Clown Planet or something else. There's also the human trafficking ring, so big that they're at the big mall. They gave them a gigantic retail outlet to do their thing in. And I've heard many stories about the Y that's right outside Mecklenburg. It's right across right on. Is it? Yes, yeah. It wouldn't be in Mecklenburg. It would be in Gaston. I haven't heard anybody talk about doing anything like that here. Nobody's going after the guy doing the roses. Maybe they will later. I don't know. Here's human trafficking in Charlotte is exploding. This is Mark Harris. 76% spike in child trafficking cases, and it's getting worse every day. Yes. Our police are overwhelmed and majorly understaffed. And he blames the governor, obviously, because it's team party politics. I'm no fan of Stein either. Wasn't a fan of Cooper. Still, no. But still, I mean, don't make it team party politics. And it's not just Blue City. That thing's been around for a while, from what I understand. And Charlotte serves as a trafficking hub, experts warn. Many cities in North Kakalaki have that problem. It's not just Charlotte. I mean, I'm talking about cities in North Carolina. It's not just Charlotte. I guarantee you that YMCA up there, there's a reason why. I haven't heard much about Charlotte, but I have heard about that Y in Belmont. Woman in Charlotte records the ICE conducts operations in a Home Depot parking lot. This was this morning? Yesterday. Woman, OMG, they're really here. Employee walking by? Yep. Again, the worst of the worst at Home Depot. Here is this is one of those guys. There's a Charlotte man along South Boulevard said he showed agents his documents before they put him to the ground. Maybe they'll show. I don't know if I could pull this up to get a bigger screen outside of get the closed caption off. Because if I put the whole screen up, you won't be able to see it. So here's the story here. You'll see them throwing him to the ground. If you look at the upper top left of that screen right there. It's called Operation Charlotte's Web. Because you got to make it catchy, I guess, for a children's novel. This is them. He recorded the whole thing. They busted his window down and threw him to the ground. He says they asked him for his papers. 10 years ago, citizen, yes, but I've been here 25 years. Despite that, a Tuno who lives in Charlotte told Channel 9 BP agents detained him twice Saturday morning along South Boulevard. Give me your status. Give me your papers. I said, why? Open the door. No, I know open the door, he said. There he is, throwing him to the ground. Here's a video of him getting first detained inside his vehicle and what happened. He's got, I guess I could, no, it's not going to play. It's playing above. They say they break the window. I break the window, broke it. He said everything passed in 2 minutes. He said he refused to get out of his vehicle during the second detainment because he had already shown documentation. Very quickly asking me, hey, give me your papers. He said, I'm scared because I gave you minutes ago. A video obtained by Channel 9 showed agents pulling him out of the vehicle, putting him to the ground, causing injuries to his arms and his head. When I'm coming to the ground, the two officers put on top of men to right here, put on top of men to right here and to right here. My neck is like I got pain. It's not terrible, but I got pain. He said they drove him around in a minivan, asking him questions about his status before he was dropped off by a vehicle at another location. He said the agents kept his truck keys. My car is on South Boulevard. Give me a ride. He said, get out of here before I put you under arrest again. I walked here for 20 minutes to my car. Channel 9's Erica Jackson wanted to make absolutely sure as Sutuno confirmed what happened to him. I want to clarify, so you are an American citizen. You were put in handcuffs. You were put in a vehicle, even though you had your documentation in your pocket. He said, yes. I see a lot of videos on social media. Everything happened, but I never think of my person. So again, the worst of the worst. Now everyone's going to say, oh, yeah, there's just one or two. Hey, one's bad enough. They find out he's a citizen. They still throw him to the ground. They still put him in the paddy wagon. And they didn't even have the common courtesy to bring him back to his ride that they broke his window and drive him and they made him walk back. And you think they're going to pay for his window? No. Again, so when people say, hey, deportation's okay, but it's it's the way they're going about doing it. A friend of mine calls me up or sends me a voice text. He's just living. He's a Hispanic. He's a traditional Hispanic Catholic too. And he goes, hey man, I'm here legally. I'm for you. You're not here legally. I'm for getting, you getting out. You break the law. You get out. He goes, but this is like this is like a Gestapo going on right here. He goes, and man, there's even Hispanics that are doing it too. He goes, they're doing it to their own blood right now. He was furious what's going on. He's even going, I wonder what will happen if they do it to me. He was talking about himself. He's big dude. He looks like a Terminator. He's a Hispanic Terminator. That's big dude and great guy though. He's kind of a teddy bear, but he's a massive dude. But that's the thing right there, man. They're profiling big time. Yeah, again, they're getting some guys because they're saying we know where they are because they got the GPS and all the cameras showing everything, like the flock cameras that can tell you everything about anybody that's gone by, getting us primed for when it comes to us. By the way, when they're finished with these guys, a little test run right now, that'll be targeted on you and I. Don't worry. And everyone cheerleading this on right now. Yeah, they're going after us. Who I voted for it. Yeah, whatever. And they're blaming the housing market on the illegals. Remember that too. Just like 2008. Here's a Charlotte pastor said Border Patrol came into his church and made an arrest in front of children. He said they cried a lot. They were trying to clean the property. We don't know this is going. We didn't know this was going to happen. This was Saturday. This was a funny one. Man arrested in hospital bathroom ceiling after attempted escape. So what happened? They arrested a man inside Atrium University Hospital after he attempted to escape through a bathroom ceiling tile. The arrest happened around 1 p.m. outside Weeping Willow AME Zion Church on Milton Road. I saw the highlights of this one. Numerous accounts claim the man who was arrested was either shot or ran over. A witness and medic confirmed he suffered a medical event. They had like a parked car and they were trying to get the guy out of the car, but he was having a panic attack or something. So the ambulance is here. On ex-Assistant Secretary Deputy Homeland Security Tricia McLaughlin said the man is from Mexico and in the country illegally. She said he has a prior assault arrest, and he attempted to escape through a ceiling at the hospital. A name has not been provided. Spokesperson from Atria Health declined to confirm details of the arrest. Not saying it's funny. It's just funny that he was trying to go through the hospital to the ceiling, and they caught him in the ceiling. Again, Charlotte's Web. Day 2 Operation Charlotte Web. CBP agents did not directly target one specific area of town or business. Arrests were spread throughout the city. CBP said 81 were arrested on Saturday. Commander Gregory Bovino has posted several arrests on X, but has not provided any names. I've seen his accounts. Here's the roses thing. They're up there. You see that? That's they're talking about the guy being not arrested. He ran, but he was just selling roses. He's been selling roses for like 5, 6, 7 years or something like that. Again, if you want all to be deported, don't forget DJT is for amnesty for illegals that work in the service industry and hotel businesses, because he has illegals working in Mar-a-Lago and all that. So technically, the guy who's in charge of all this doesn't think that everyone needs to be deported. He's already said that that doesn't have to happen. So I find the cheerleaders very inconsistent on this. Monday absences. Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools report nearly 21,000 students were absent from school on Monday, which makes around 15% of the students enrolled in the school district. Yeah, because people are terrified of what's going on, citizen or not citizen, because the citizens are being arrested too. Get that through most of y'all's head. It's not just the illegals. The guy who just talked about, that wasn't just the only story of him getting arrested, of somebody being arrested for looking the part and being a citizen. People that are citizens that look the part are being arrested. That's called racial profiling. That's not, and then when they show them the documents, they still treat them like scum. Again, that's what we're talking about, the humane part of things. Would you be, all right, we'll play a game. You're fine with deporting illegals. I'm fine with deporting it. Are you fine with how it's being handled? Do you take a guy who is a citizen or non-citizen and beat the snot out of them? Now, if it's a guy that had multiple arrests, kills 5 people, things like that, and okay, you can even that. Do you mishandle them and treat them like a dog? No. Do you treat them all like dogs? No. They are humans. They're still made in the image and likeness of God. At least I thought we were. I thought we were on this page. But no, all of a sudden, Tea Party politics kick in, and we care more about the state laws, state rules. Not saying that the state, not maybe that was bad wording. We care more about what the TV tells us and what the cheerleaders tell us than we do about this. I'd be ticked off if I saw somebody that got arrested that was a citizen, beat up, brought away from his car, and then they told him, yeah, you can find your own way back up. No, that don't fly. That's Bush League stuff right there. I would say you apologize to that guy who you just beat up, threw to the ground, and offer to pay to fix his car. That would be the good thing to do. We don't have that anymore. Humbly, I'm sorry. MTG, Marjorie the Gathering, says she's turning a new leaf after years of divisive comments. Trump changes course, says House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files, because I'm pretty sure I think they redacted most anything that has to do with anybody on the GOP. He said, I don't care, Trump wrote on a social media post. All I care about is that Republicans get back on point. Apparently him and MTG was having a nasty fight the last couple of days. Remember, he was calling it a Democratic hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party. Yeah, anybody with 2 working brain cells knows that's full of it. Speaking of which, Trump says the U.S. needs H-1B immigrants to make computer chips and train our people. But let me see. Wait a second. Before I go on, let me see if I have. No, that's not as image file. Let me do that. video file. I know I have something on Trump. No, that's the wrong file right there. I got 30 million things on here. Is there I know I have that. Him talking about immigration. Just where do I have it set up? Augustine Cart, you own nothing, be happy. Kurz voting. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. All right, I do have the Israel Tech Card download. That's good. That's good to know. Cranberries. Extremely dangerous to slide vaccine mortgage. Maybe it's up here. DJT Pope. No, that's not what I need. Man, where do I have that? I know. I don't have anybody like no, I don't have anybody like Rick to prompt me. Anybody got any questions on the show? No need to arrest anyone. Just stop all welfare and freebies to illegals. Freeloaders will self-deport. I mean, that's pretty much true too. I know I have this thing when he talks about the immigrants. Because I played it many times. I just don't remember. There's ice, alligator Alcatraz, alligator mosquitoes. Here we go. Boom.
We're going to work with farmers that if they have strong recommendations for their farms for certain people, we're going to let them stay in for a while and work with the farmers and then come back and go through a legal process. But we have to take care of our farmers and hotels and various places where they need the people. And we're going to be working with you very carefully on that. So a farmer will come in with a letter concerning certain people saying they're great, they're working hard. We're going to slow it down a little bit for them, and then we're going to ultimately bring them back. They'll go out, they're going to come back as legal workers.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Which I think I think it's very important.
All right, back to a regular scheduled program. FBI redacted Trump's name in the Epstein report, says Bloomberg. The Bureau's FOIA team tasked with conducting a final review of the records blacked out the names before higher-ups said last month that releasing the documents, quote, would not be appropriate or warranted because we're a criminal group. I'll talk about it when we get to it, I guess. Recycling scam. This is Tourbillon, California, IA, where residents can be fined up to $500 for not separating their trash. Yet, when the city comes to collect it, everything is still thrown into a single bin and taken to a landfill. Because if you don't know, if you watch Stossel, he has a great thing on recycling. It's a scam. It's not. It doesn't do anything. It actually costs more energy, takes more energy to do the quote unquote recycling than it does for all this. Just a major scam. Protesters screamed, "Get out of my city," at federal agents during immigration raid. Border Patrol and Homeland Security agents faced fierce resistance during Operation Charlotte's Web, targeting criminal illegal immigrants. Hey, I'm a Southerner, true and true. I don't like feds coming into my area. I don't care what they're in here for. No dice. That's a hard no. Trump seals trade deal after getting massive gold watch. That's whatever that is. It's a watch. The president cut Switzerland's tariffs after Rolex CEO gave him a priceless gold clock. Okay, maybe clock. Maybe I didn't think it was a watch. Clock or something, whatever. Once the future king, President DJT, gave Switzerland a favorable tariff break 1 week after the country's industry leaders buttered him up with priceless gold gifts. U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer announced on CNBC Squawk Box that the U.S. has reached a trade deal with Switzerland because he got me some gold stuff. That's how it works. You don't get anything, but he got a nice little clock. So it's like, tariffs, smariffs, we can go on this way. No consistency, just get it. Donald Trump threatens to bomb Mexico and Colombia and says, "I'd be proud." Trump says U.S. intends to sell F-35 jet fighters to Saudi Arabia. Announcement underscores rehabilitation of Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman ahead of the White House meeting Tuesday with the president. So he's meeting tomorrow? Okay. Here is Israeli Democrats leader warned that Trump abandoned Israel. Yair Golan claims Netanyahu agreed to U.S.'s F-35 deal with Saudi Arabia in exchange for a pardon letter. Saudi Arabia tomorrow could be turned against us because regime change. This is a real danger to our security. Speaking of, while I'm thinking of it, generals sleeping in their messes, just like witches at black masses. UN places Gaza under control of U.S.-led board. IDF has killed 266 people in Gaza since the quote-unquote ceasefire. Trump considers skipping disarmament phase of Gaza plan. Activists allege Israel used NGO to traffic Palestinians from Gaza. 21 House Democrats introduced bill recognizing Gaza genocide. Good on them. Hey, yeah, push that. Trump, we may be in talks with Maduro. U.S. bombs boat in Latin America because that's what we do nowadays. We just bomb fishing boats. Continues military buildup. Israel attacks UNIFIL peacekeepers in Lebanon. Violence continues to rage in Syria's Suwada. U.S. bombs Somalia again. Knock another, what do we have, to 90 civilians reportedly killed. We already said that Trump the fighter jets. First arms sales to Taiwan approved under the peace president. Trump says he will talk to Maduro, won't rule out troops in Venezuela. DJT Nicolas Maduro has not been good to the United States because he's not a Zionist. Trump, Venezuela dumped hundreds of thousands of people into our country from prisons. In that case, we have to make sure we kill them all and take their oil. Asked if he would rule out U.S. troops on the ground in Venezuela, Trump replied, "No, I do not rule that out. I don't rule anything out, because that's what good peace presidents do. We just have to take care of Venezuela," he added. They dumped hundreds of thousands of people in our country from prisons. If we have any evidence of that, I would like to see that evidence, but we don't have that. We just make claims and just roll from it. Here's from RT, 3 killed as U.S. bombs drug boat, quote unquote, in the Eastern Pacific. Vessel erupts in flames after nearly 24 boats destroyed by U.S. so far. As seeing bad, destroying without evidence has always been a U.S. foreign policy. So long as there are enough stupid people to believe the government's narrative, it can do anything it wants. Thank all the stupid supporters. All this could not have been possible without them. There's a lot. And it's not just one side. Both sides have that. This is a great one because Nick Adams and quite a few other cheerleaders on the 15th decided to post up this thing called either you're with President Trump or you're against America. So again, you can't be for him and against some of the things he's done. It's Tea Party politics. Toe the line. Who cares what he does? And that's what Magnus X goes, excuse me? No Epstein disclosures. Argentina beef. Ban current U.S. hemp production. Max H-1B visas. Pardon Bibi Netanyahu. Dump Elon. No J6 justice. Endorse Lindsey Graham. No peace in Ukraine. Israel first. 50-year mortgage. There is down here. America last. Israel first. America last. Spend more than Brandon. Spend more than Biden. Dump Thomas Massey. 15-year car loan. Dump Rand Paul. Import 600,000 Chinese students. Shield Fauci from justice. Again, that's the cheerleaders because he's probably getting paid to say this. And then X gives him, he's at 2.1 million views on this. Know what that means? This dude is monetized on top of it. Let's look at Nick Adams real quick. Just, best-selling author endorsed by Trump because if he doesn't do it, he loses that endorsement and he becomes an author at the Waffle House. 1.8 million, 4.9 thousand, 6.8 thousand, 4.4, another 4,000. Okay, those are kind of low comparatively. 10,000, 13,000, 44,000. We're just talking about George Sanders. 306,000 from Clay Trail, 10,000. I don't know. Do you ever get any of these? I post something like 4 people see it. ICE agent arrested for pulling gun on Southern California 18, lawyer says. A 45-year-old Riverside County man who reported worked as a U.S. ICE agent is accused of illegally detaining a minor at gunpoint while off duty last week. This is from Tucker Carlson. I don't know if you guys have seen that. If you haven't, check it out. Medical kidnap website. Yeah, I've heard about stuff like that too. All right, this is a movie that Tucker Carlson did on who is Thomas Crooks. Watch it. Very informative. It was only like 30 seconds that he kind of got into. He left a couple things out, but very good done, very well done thing. Gets into he went from, if you haven't seen it, he goes from hardcore Trump cultist almost. He was actually called that by people to all of a sudden he does like a 180-degree switch to the complete opposite side of the spectrum. Why is this important? Because these guys, ever since that, there's been posts on Secret Service had some explaining to do. Thomas Crooks flew a drone over his site for 11 minutes. Just so happens the Secret Service anti-drone system was down at that moment. The building he climbed up on was one that didn't have surveillance. Do you think this was an inside job? And I didn't mean for this because this isn't what I'm talking about. If you look at the cheerleaders, I didn't post it up, not just to avoid them. Jack and all those guys, Cash, they're all talking about this now. Cash came up with something about like, I did 50,000 hours, 2,000 interviews, 1,000 this, blah, blah, blah. It gives a list. And you're like, yeah, where's all the evidence? Show me what you got. They did nothing since that event, nothing. And then all of a sudden, because of that interview by Tucker, they're all losing their heads over this. What was I going to put up? I can't remember now. Oh, yeah, here. That was a long time ago. Corbett did one on Benjamin Netanyahu. That was a good one. A taco shop raid splits an Ohio town in Red America. Poncho's Tacos sponsored local teams and hosted a Rotary Club. Then federal immigration agents showed up at noon on October 9th. Poncho's Tacos posted a Facebook, stop in today and try our fall drink menu. A colorful photo showed a caramel apple martini. 8 minutes later, sorry, we are closed. Federal immigration agents had descended on Poncho's, a family-owned institution that sponsored girls softball teams, hosted Rotary Club meetings, and drew locals for Ladies' Night. It's Ladies' Night. And Ohio State football watch parties. In the parking lot, authorities arrested at least 5 allegedly undocumented workers as they arrived for their shifts. The agent drove unmarked cars and drew guns. Witnesses said. Witnesses and social media accounts described the detained workers being roughed up. A bystander tried to intervene. One of those arrested resisted, causing 2 agents to suffer lacerations and bruises, according to Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia. She's all over the place. 3 of those arrested, she said, had been removed previously and chose to illegally re-enter the U.S. Felony. The incident, besides a bowling center in near Mount Vernon High School's football stadium, took less than half an hour. Its impact continues to reverberate through this quiet corner of deep red Trump country. Rumors swirl through coffee shops, churches, and social media. The raid has sparked heated public meetings and rallies that drew crowds to the town square. Divisions have sharpened in ways that don't fit neatly into partisan boxes. Fred Daly, chairman of the Knox County GOP and Ohio's former agricultural director, fully supports how the operation took place. They call it the Gestapo tactics. But when Homeland Security comes knocking on your door, they're not coming to play patty cake. Now, when they come to your door down the road, if you're okay with how things are going on, please don't complain when that knock comes to your door. Said Daly, a cattleman with the farm outside the city. We like Mexican food and we like to visit the restaurants, but we're not going to sell out our birthright for a bean burrito. I don't know. Like I told a friend of mine, I go, you know what? Know how many illegals done anything to me? None. You know how many times the federal government's done something to you? I think you need two hands to take that number. Not all Republicans share that view. Tanner Sellers of Mount Vernon Safety Service Director, equivalent to the city administrator, in his office in the Brick City Hall, Sailors, whatever, Sayers, keeps a gold elephant statue he calls Burry Goldwater elephant, after the conservative icon Burry Goldwater. The way the raid took place was not only bizarre, but inappropriate. This is not how this works. Not Portland or Chicago. The county is 2% Hispanic, more than 90% white, and Trump won 72% back in 2024. We don't want to make sure we do want to make sure no one gets hurt. Homeland Security didn't respond to a question about vehicles. Of course, they're never going to respond. Locals rushed to Poncho's, where they found the remaining restaurant staff and others wandering in the parking lot. Knox Pages, an online news hub, posted a story that day and another the next. They drew more than 1,100 comments. This is not the town I grew up in anymore, wrote one commenter. I used to remember how people loved one another and accepted one another despite their differences. But another wrote, this is exactly what we voted for. Send all the illegals home. That's what this one is what they're trying to do. They want division. They want you to hate your neighbor. They want you to call in like during the Rona and have your neighbor arrested for whatever, or have the people come up and knock on the door if they're not following the way it is. Before 2020, no one ever thought about turning in their friend because in case they kill grandma. I don't think anybody before today, this year, thought about, you know what, we need to go see if those I never went into a Mexican restaurant and looked, I wonder if there's any illegals. Never thought that. But they want you to hate each other now, which is a communist idea, by the way. Get division, hate your neighbor, and make it very disunion, break up the unity, disunion. Debate courses that the action was based on a tip related. I didn't even read that, and wow, what they're talking about related to the employment of the undocumented immigrants. Some 1,000 commenters weighed in. Many speculated about the tipster. Wow, some Karen got ticked off and called Homeland Security. Another replied, that Karen deserves a medal. I know. Neighbors, friends, and people who serve them are being whisked away. Poncho's was just the first place hit. They haven't even started our farms yet. I got neighbors. They're from the Dominican Republic. I've never asked. I've been over their house a couple times. Never asked. Hey, you guys here illegally? What's the deal? I do not care. If you do something wrong, fine. You find out if they are, and I go. It doesn't bother. Maybe I'm nuts. Maybe I'm just different, I guess. Met a guy who knew people disposing of homeless back in 17. Illegals, only the second wave. Yeah. Who cared when all the illegals disappeared by millions? Yeah, sure. Again, that's a great example. A place that they used to be very united. Now they hate. Now they're looking at each other. Half the people are happy that their neighbors got kicked out. The other half are wondering what's wrong with my neighbors. Irretrievably destroyed. Trump administration says video footage inside ICE facility at center of class action lawsuit cannot be produced in line with court's discovery order. Shocker. Is that the same group that had 3 minutes missing of the Epstein video? Shocker. Rand Paul, this means that tariffs were taxes all along. Trump slashes coffee, banana tariffs to cut soaring grocery bills. I think we told everyone at the beginning, told you so Monday instead of told you so Tuesday, is that the tariff's going to be a tax. By the way, if you look up IKEA right now, their bookshelves went up $50. Some of them, I think the ones with the doors, I haven't looked at the whole website yet, but the IKEA bookshelves are $50. I wonder if the tariffs are part of that. You want to get something? Yeah, it's going to cost you a little bit more. But hey, no. America. I was told the tariffs will replace income tax. Yeah, you bought into that too. Yeah, right. Scott Bessent, the Soros guy, and lives in the same lifestyle as Pete Buttigieg. But we're okay with this guy because he's MAGA. Scott Bessent blames immigrants for high beef prices with bizarre disease cow claim. Many top economists blame the sharp rise in beef prices on once a future king President DJT's widespread tariffs, which have increased the cost of beef imported from Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, and Uruguay. But Bessent says it's because of immigrants. Remember, like I said, during the 2008 home crisis, guess who they blamed it all on? Immigrants and poor people. Who was it really about was the banks and the government. But yeah, you got to blame someone else. It's definitely not them. Scott, get in there and gaslight everybody. Speaking of Israel, Eric Adams in Israel, quote, I served you as mayor, but I want to continue to serve as your brother. Oh, I served you as a mayor, but now I want to continue to serve you as a brother. Adams on a final trip as New York City mayor, having served Israel, quote. Now, he did. I don't think he meant served you as mayor of Israel. He just served you in the mayor's position. But there's the great googly moogly. He's at this just the other day. He's out there in Israel. You can look up on many of these things. You wonder why Mandami, whatever, won New York City. Yeah, well, you wonder why he won New York City? Stuff like this. And every other guy that was up on that stage was just like this. Lifeside News, lack of adequate health care pushing Canadians towards assisted suicide. A family of an elderly man is speaking out about the terrible hospital conditions that led their father to request euthanasia before he died of natural causes. Remember the heist in Louvre a couple weeks ago? Well, pranksters bypassed it again and sneak painting in. They outsmarted the museum security and placed a painting in the same room as the famous Mona Lisa. So it's got little stickies on it. You can't hear them, but one of the security guards. You can't hear them, but they're all speaking a lot of French. So it brought it in a bag. So they did it with almost 18 minutes. They're waiting for the close. How much? I know. No, that I mean, they said they can get to do it, and they put a photo of it, and they'll never see what happened afterwards. That'd be fun to see how long it stayed up. Grandest Thanksgiving yet, 2025 holiday to cost average Americans up to $1,000. So get ready for your Turkey Day and get ready to take out a loan for it. In a nutshell, the average American celebrating Turkey Day in 2025 will spend $952 on food, drinks, decorations, travel, and miscellaneous items. One-third of Americans are cutting their Turkey Day budgets by an average of 41% through smaller gatherings, potluck-style meals, and skipping travel. Most people now attend multiple Thanksgiving celebrations, say 59% saying it's become a whole season rather than a single day. Generational differences exist in cost-sharing expectations, with baby boomers more likely to believe hosts should cover everything, while Gen Z prefers splitting costs evenly. And if you haven't been to a grocery store, which is probably all you guys have, it's expensive. Try thinking about just one day spending that much money on one day of food. And by the way, if you're really scoring at home, in the Catholic and on the eastern and western side of things, you have Saint Martin's Lent for the west and the Saint Philip's Fast going on for the east. Both of those, in the old ways, was a fast, 40-day fast going up to the Nativity. Well, you can always take that and go to Turkey Day and gorge yourself with a bunch of food, or you could practice the self penance for the next 40-day, the next month. Which one do you want to do? I don't know. Maybe we should do some penance. Maybe we should do some fasting and penance. I know down here everyone does. Hey, let's do a fast for one day. Maybe that'll help. No, we got to do it for longer than a day. But let's. We talk about Lent a lot. We do. Most of you guys do a Lenten fast. Think about the Nativity Fast. Not telling you to do it, but think about doing that. Look up the St. Martin's Lent. Look up the St. Philip's Fast. Do one of them. Or if you don't want to go all out, give up a couple meals a day. With lasagna and burritos. Burritos. Breaker. We got a turkey day with burritos. Neighbors feed one another as food prices soar. Homemade lasagnas and foil wrapped burritos prepared and delivered between neighbors. A farmer's market offering funds for fresh and local produce. A buddy program to help provide groceries for anyone in need. That's acting locally and thinking locally. We need more of that happening. An AI podcasting machine is churning out 3,000 episodes a week, and people are listening. No industry is safe from artificial intelligence, not even podcasting. This isn't hyperbole. There's already at least 175,000 AI-generated podcast episodes on platforms like Spotify and Apple. That's thanks to Inception Point AI, a startup with just 8 employees cranking out 3,000 episodes a week, covering everything from localized weather reports and pollen trackers to a detailed account of Kirk's assassination and its cultural impact to a biography on Anna Wintour. Its podcast network, Quiet Please, has generated 12 million lifetime episode downloads and amassed 400,000 subscribers. So yes, people are really listening to AI podcasts. I've done a couple. Peter Thiel's fund offloaded Nvidia stake in third quarter. Filing shows. That's Peter Thiel dumping his stock. Tech billionaire Peter Thiel's hedge fund has sold off an entire stake in Nvidia during the third quarter. Regulatory filing showed intensifying worries of an AI bubble. The fund, Thiel Marco, sold around 537,000 plus shares in the AI chip frontrunner in the quarter. A filing showed the stake would have been worth about $100 million as the company's closing price on Sunday. Why is this important? I messed that up. Here is Cassandra Unchained by a raise of hands. Who knows who this guy is? One chart to refute them all. To be continued on November 25th or before. Here's the chart he posted. S&P 500 total capital expenditures less depreciation, nominal U.S. GDP. Here's the dot-com TMT boom. Here's the housing bubble. Here's the shale revolution. Here's the cloud, then AI build out. And if you don't know who this guy is, Michael Burry, Dr. Michael Burry, Michael J. Burry. He's the guy that predicted the first guy to come out and bet against the housing bubble. You seen the movie The Big Short? That's him. The guy that Christian Bale plays. That guy. He if you haven't watched it, he went afterwards, asked the major podcasters to do interviews about how he knew this was going on. Nobody wanted to talk to him about it, or none of the newspapers wanted to talk to him about it. And then the FBI questioned him 3 times, and a couple other people. But yeah, if this guy sees it's coming, and he's already remember last week, Big Short. Trader who inspired The Big Short bets against AI as tech shares fall. That's him right there. Hedge fund investor Michael Burry, who was the inspiration for the film The Big Short, has bet against Nvidia and Palantir shares. Major indexes in Asia were hard hit on Wednesday following a sell-off, and the U.S. Japan's Nikkei 225 closed 2.5, dragged lower by tech investment giant SoftBank, which plunged more than 10%. In a sense, if this guy sees something coming, I'd bet on this guy. He knows what he's doing. Here is Elon Musk saying yes to Teslamomics. Optimus is going to be one of the biggest equalizers humanity has ever seen, because every family can access a robot that delivers world-class medical care. It means the quality of your health no longer depends on your income, your zip code, or your background. I get it now. Unless they just phase out or get hijacked and then they kill you. Hawaii's something volcano erupted, unleashing lava fountains soaring more than 1,500 feet in a stunning wing-shaped formation. Here is a new sport. When 60 Minutes first heard about chess boxing, we thought it was a joke. It is not. Competitors, better stop it, I'm going to get dinged by 60 Minutes. Competitors alternate rounds of chess and boxing and can win by knockout or by checkmate, whatever happens first. This Sunday, travel with us to the World Chess Boxing Championships. That is no joke. Here is Brian McClanahan writing today on if you want to follow conservatism, if you want to listen to real American conservatives, you need to avoid people like Victor Davis Hanson, who's a joke, Dinesh D'Souza, who is also a joke, or Newt Greenwich, and instead go to the source. And by the source, I mean John C. Calhoun and John Taylor of Caroline. Notice the former people and the latter men. The former people and the latter are men. Statesman would be more accurate. Calhoun is arguably the most polarizing figure in American political history. Modern conservatives try even hard to distance themselves from him. Even in this piece, which he links on here, from the imaginative conservative, in some respects, an attempted defense of his positions has to portray the man as some type of heretic. Calhoun was as American as Jefferson and Washington. Russell Kirk correctly placed him among the top of the American conservative pantheon. As for Taylor, he was more Jeffersonian than Jefferson himself, a purist who believed in the principles of 76 and in 1798. His work on American government should be read by every conservative in America. I've read it. It's fantastic stuff. That is a failure in American education. But you, dear reader, already know the real Calhoun and have heard of Taylor, presumably because of yours truly or others like me. And if you are McClanahan, he does his own homeschooling and historical schooling. So you can go Black Friday deal, 40% off, reading Calhoun for $120, reading John Taylor Caroline, $120. If you go to McClanahan Academy and you want to do this, I promise you are going to learn some stuff you've never learned before. This day in history, 2003, Arnold Schwarzenegger inaugurated as governor of California. 2008, the first film adaptation of Stephenie Meyer's Twilight Saga premiered in LA. 1989, I haven't watched any of those. 1989, massive anti-government demonstration in Czechoslovakia were set off by police brutality at a demonstration commemorating the 50th anniversary of the suppression of the student demonstration in German-occupied Prague. 1793, during the Watergate scandal, U.S. President Richard Nixon said he was not a crook. 1950, German athlete Ronald Mathies, one of the greatest backstrokers in the history of swimming, was born in East Germany. 1942, American filmmaker Martin Scorsese was born. 1887, British Field Marshal Bernard Law Montgomery was born in London. 1871, the NRA, National Rifle Association, was granted a charter by New York State. Its initial goal was to promote and encourage rifle shooting on the scientific basis. It later became a part of the problem because they are incorporationistas. One of those, if you have an incorporationista, they're progressive. 1869, after 10 years of construction, the Suez Canal opened in Egypt. 1800, the U.S. Congress held its first session in Washington, D.C., 1558, at the death of Mary I. This day, Elizabeth Tudor came to the English throne as Elizabeth I. She was the real bloody one. 284, Diocletian was acclaimed Roman emperor by his soldiers, and it went downhill right after that. All right. Thanks for all hanging in there. God love you. Have a great rest of the night. See you tomorrow for Told You So Tuesday, which most of this was pretty much Told You So as well. God bless, and thanks for watching.